Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix.
Okay, so we're back now. Rob, are you here with us?
Technology, as I said previously, is a wonderful thing until it is not. It kind of sucks. Let's talk about some panhandle politics, because you guys are the panhandle politico. Big Daddy Don Gaetz was a school board member that became a state representative, became a state senator, to the point where in the last 2 years, in his term, he was elected as president of the Florida Senate. Subsequently, everybody, with maybe the exception of his wife, refers to him as Mr. President. He seems to want that and love that. And now he's been out of office 8 years and is running for his old seat. Actually, they moved the districts around, so he's going to be in District 1. Does he even live in District 1? No, he doesn't, actually. He has a piece of property in District 1.
He has property, yeah.
Now, Scott, you know Baker,
Correct.
Florida really well. Gang, I got to tell you, it's a wide spot in the road. It has a stoplight. I remember it when it had a flashing light. It does now have a mall called Dollar General. That's big time in Baker. So is it just property or property with a trailer on it, a deer lease? What?
Well, I didn't know that his property was supposed to be in Baker. That's interesting.
Yeah,
because
Well, it
I'm
has to be
unaware of
somewhere in
him
the
having
district.
any property anywhere near Baker. He's always been more of a coastal guy from my knowledge of him.
Yeah.
Actually,
but
the new district is more of the new district is more, I mean, I think it's Holt in Okaloosa County. And so it has to be in the Holt area, Holt Baker area. And then
Okay.
somewhere else, anywhere in Santa Rosa County or anywhere in Escambia County. So I don't know exactly where he...
It doesn't matter. I mean, Greg and I are well aware of a state representative who never lived in his district for the entire time that he was in office. He just rented a place out on the beach and called that his district home.
Oh, that would be Mike Hill. Yeah. So we can name
Allegedly,
names.
yes.
They're out of office right now, and it doesn't look like he's going to run. Anyway,
That's
so
very true,
after he left the Senate, he ends up running the incredible multi-billion dollar Triumph Gulf Coast, which was a fund paid for by BP following the oil disaster.
Yep.
Don't anybody ever say oil spill in front of me. I will smack you upside the head. It was an oil disaster with a gazillion barrels that polluted the entire Gulf Coast from Louisiana all the way to Panama City. In fact, Escambia County, which is Pensacola, got more oil than any other county in the state of Florida. In fact, it got more oil than every other county in the state of Florida. And the Triumph Gulf Coast, spearheaded by someone from Niceville, that would be Big Daddy Don Gaetz, has seen to give about this much money to Escambia County. A lot's gone to Panama City, Fort Walton, and Destin. What?
They still have 80% of the money left. They've only doled out between 20 and 40% of the money. I mean, they still have over $2 billion.
Multi-billions of dollars. And Gaetz wants everybody to kiss his ring or something else that's kissable in order to get that
building
money.
a lot of interest.
Well, in my opinion,
building interest.
in my opinion, that fund was never meant to repair or fix or protect anything. It was, in my opinion, it was really more of a hammer that Don could use to beat people up and enforce his will, basically by telling these counties, either you play ball or I'm not going to make sure that you don't get any projects approved. Now, I don't have any direct information about that, but that is my opinion.
I think that's a good opinion to have. Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, when he's the director of it and when he's been in charge of the fund, he's the one who helps navigate who comes in and applies and how the application process goes and everything. Mm-hmm. And you got people in Miami getting money. You got people all across the state getting money that are not really directly affected by the oil.
They can't. Wait. The law was, wait a minute, Scott, come on. The law was written to include the Gulf Coast counties, say to Panama City or the next county after that. Huh?
Well, it tails all the way down to Naples. I mean, Naples is part of Gulf Coast, and
they didn't
have
any
a little bit around the bend. They got a Gulf Stream.
Well, I mean, there are people from there that
against the Gulf Stream.
Well, there's a lot of ways that they can skin that cat.
Yeah, because technically they're talking about any companies that were affected by it. So if companies were like headquartered in those parts of Florida and they were doing business on the Gulf Coast and are affected by it, I mean a lot of these corporations on the Gulf Coast don't only have one office. A lot of them have multi offices and they're multi-located and they're spread all over the place. And
yeah, but let me stop you there. The statute itself doesn't say company; it says 8 affected counties. The statute that labels the fund is just those.
Because I mean the fund was supposed to be helping people at the end of the day. I mean, it wasn't supposed to help only businesses. It's supposed to help people get off the ground, get their jobs back. I mean, because people lost their jobs, they lost their incomes. It's supposed to supplement all of that.
And, when they started,
they did not do that. It just
they started those disaster checks a month or two in, because everybody in the restaurant business, everybody worked on the beach, fishermen, everybody that had anything to do with the Gulf, they were done, shut down. I mean, it was COVID early, small scale. So this is the interesting part. In that summer of 2010, while the oil was still working its way down the beaches and being sucked out of the Gulf, the number one store for selling televisions in all of the United States was the Walmart on Highway 29 on the north side of Pensacola. Am I not mistaken? People were scooping up flat screens because they're getting these thousands and thousands of dollars of checks, and I'm grabbing a flat screen while I can. And I'm sitting at home with an 18-inch black and white from General Electric. So that, anyway, Triumph Gulf Coast has not done their job by any stretch of the imagination, not even a little bit. They
haven't done their official job, but
correct.
But in my mind, they've done what they were designed to do.
Now, I do think that there's a need for an investigation, I think, of the Triumph board. I think there's a need to find out exactly what their process is. I mean, because right now I think I heard that they're helping out Whiting Field with helicopters. In Whiting Field, I mean, I think we have the federal government that helps a little bit.
Yeah, that's the Air Force base. I know this one. I know this.
But why does BP need to help out the DoD?
No, they're building an aviation business park on the northeast side of Whiting Field. So that is city or county-owned land. And they're building basically hangars. That's what the money is going toward. They will have a fence and a gate, and your airplane stuff can land at Whiting and taxi over. There's a bazillion things they could do. So, more when we come back. We're going to talk about the border. Most people don't know that Florida is a border state. They don't think of us that way, but we're an international border among, let's see, at least two, maybe three nations. Texas only has to worry about one, for crying out loud, but we're a border state too. We'll talk about that when we return on the Political Matrix.